Let me take you back. Let me take you back to the electoral process ahead of the elections. I'm sure you're aware that as part of the continuous voters registration exercise that is ongoing, there were allegations that in Kano there was quite a large number of underage voters registering to vote ahead of the elections. Are you aware of that?
I'm aware of the allegation.
The allegation, yes.
The false.
False?
Yes.
How did you arrive at that conclusion that it's false?
Why did you believe that they were right? Because I'm sure...
I didn't believe they were right. They just showed pictures.
Okay, now you have mentioned the issue now.
Yes.
We have seen pictures.
Yes.
And in pictures, you know there's photo trick. In pictures, there's a hypothetical stage. So those pictures, I'm even happy that you mentioned pictures. Our ICT experts have analyzed those pictures. You don't even need an expert, but in order to see how we can give a reliable explanation and data, but otherwise we don't even need that. How can you see a whole queue of children electing? Is it possible in Nigeria? A long queue of children, and the person who was taking the picture was the one who was pushing the children to be in line? You know, that is an artificial arrangement. That is one. Two, the child was even holding a card reader. We did not use card reader in the local government election. So you can see everything there was stage managed. And I think even INEC itself could not prove that there was underage voting. They made a statement. There's no underage. And let me tell you, the local government election we held in Kano, as far as I know, for the last 20 years, that is the best local government election ever held in Kano.
But Your Excellency, I'm sorry, I must interrupt to ask this.
Yes.
Because the follow-up was that the allegation went further.
Yeah.
Because they also then said that part of the explanation for why this was going on was that the parents of many of these children tended to either coerce or threaten the electoral officers, whether they were state officers or INEC officials, to ensure the registration of these children. Did you hear about that?
Well, are you talking of local government election now? Or
no, I'm talking about the registration process.
Well, I'm not aware of that. Certain that. And in our election, we collected our register from the INEC in Kano, and we followed it religiously, and we didn't come across any child in voting. So maybe it happened in some parts of this country, but even during the voter registration, we have not witnessed any, enforcement on the INEC officials to register underage. I have not seen that. And people could have cried foul during the registration.
Now, in your state, traditional institutions are very strong.
Yeah.
You have one of the most vocal, one of the most prominent traditional rulers in the country.
Yes.
In the Sarkin Kano.
Yeah.
There are those who allege that you, in fact, installed him as the Sarkin Kano.
No, it's God who installed him.
Well, God would not come down to install him. That's the allegation.
But God can work on people to install him. I believe he was duly elected by the kingmakers.
What's your relationship with him like?
It's very good.
How much do you, because I mean, it's very unusual to have someone of his caliber in a traditional institution.
Yeah.
Former CBN governor, former bank MD.
Yes.
And then now traditional ruler.
Yes.
How much of his skill do you?
Yes, former this, yes. I was also former this.
Okay, so two of you are former and now current.
I was former secretary to a local government, former chairman to a local government, former commissioner of local government, former deputy governor, former director at federal level.
And now governor.
he was this and that. So that is why we're able to blend. Initially, we had some problems which have been solved, which is normal.
Yes, I was going to allude to that. But
so I respect him. He does respect me, and he's very resourceful, and we are benefiting from his experience. We are benefiting from his knowledge. Already we have a committee which is heading for investment, foreign investment, with his international connection. So you can see that it's an issue of understanding human behavior. And I read psychology in the university. So I know the variables that if they are not coupled properly, then you get tension. And one also has to be patient. One also has to know that you are heading a government. He is heading an institution. So any disagreement between the two of us is not the disagreement between personalities as such. It is agreement between institutions, which is not good for the system. So that is the situation. And the Imam Kano is a civilized person. Even though he makes them, you see, the issue is that people don't understand. He too, to some extent, he doesn't understand, but gradually he's understanding. He is an intellectual, but the traditional system does not accommodate the behavior of an intellectual. Because the traditional system, you see, does not allow the traditional ruler to talk, even if it is a frank talk. The system prefers for one to work under the ground rather than privately, rather than, overtly. So that is the issue. That is why the traditional system, you see that they put something on the mouth. That is controlling values. And even God, in his own wisdom, because he knows the danger of the tongue. That is why God has provided so many layers to protect the tongue. The lips are there, the teeth are there, the tongue is always
in between.
And the tongue is always in solution so that it doesn't become brittle. So the traditional system is like that. So, but he is gradually adjusting. He is understandable. Is understandable. He was a social critic, understandable. But traditional system does not allow for that kind of posture. But we are happy he is adjusting. He is adjusting, but what he is saying, he says it from the bottom of his heart. He says it from how he sees it. That is the issue. So people should be able to understand. But equally the same, we are benefiting from his knowledge.
Can I call you a Buharist?
Yes.
In that case, as a Buharist, how did you respond? What was your initial, or what was your reaction when General Obasanjo wrote that open letter to the president?
Well, you see, they are both former heads of states. Obasanjo was former head of state, and then under democracy, he was also president of Nigeria. Muhammadu Buhari was former head of state. Now, under democracy, he is the president of Nigeria. I will not like to, delve into accusation and counter-accusation on Obasanjo. But all what I know is that people are the best judges. Obasanjo was president of Nigeria, and he attempted to go for third term. Do you know how many billions of naira were wasted in an attempt for him to get third term? And it failed at the Senate chambers after people collected a lot of money. So there is a moral issue somebody who looked for third term is now preventing somebody going for a constitutional second term. I think that is self-explanatory. So there's even no need for one to come and start, accusing Obasanjo, blah, 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 on this and looking at his antecedents. I think he is known for that. So that is why some of us, we just laugh.
But someone who is not known for that and whose letter soon followed General Obasanjo's was General Babangida's.
Well, General Babangida denied it. Even if there was subterranean influence, he denied it. But let me ask you, is it the generals that will determine the democracy in Nigeria?
I should ask you, because you are the one in the arena. I'm not in the arena, I'm a journalist.
Well, you said Babangida wrote a letter.
Yes.
All what I know, Babangida denied that he didn't write the letter. And even if Babangida wrote a letter, Babangida maybe mentioned his opinion. When Babangida was in power, people mentioned their opinion. I think people were even executed because they were looking for his job. So you can see that
they were executed for attempting to overthrow him.
To overthrow him. So you can see that there are a lot of contradictions in the whole issue. All what is happening now happened before, and we are in form of development from one stage to another. You see, so I believe if they wanted, they could have given the president those letters silently. And Mr. President can read their letters, and then if he sees what they are saying is a good advice, then he will abide by it instead of going into the public. That's my opinion about it.
Okay. Now, what's your relationship with the national leader of the APC, Senator Tinubu?
A good relationship.
Were you at the colloquium?
Yes, I was there, live.
Yes, a number of people noted that you were sitting right next to your brand new in-law.
Yes, of course.
And then there were those who asked the question, was it you and he who arranged the union of your children?
No, it was sheer coincidence.
Because there are those who say it was politically convenient. 2 APC governors, one north, one south, and that therefore
no, it was
you were trying to encourage national unity.
Of course, it started from sheer coincidence, and then I did not object to that. He did not object to that. So that is how it happened like that. We appreciate it. But I'm telling you, honestly, it came between the two of them by chance.
You mean the 2 children?
The 2 children. My daughter, sorry to say, very intelligent.
Why are you sorry? She's very intelligent.
It was for me to say it.
No, say it. You are a father, so you are proud.
First class from Apti College, University, American University, Nigeria. First class in political science. So she's not the type that I will say, you must marry this. You don't marry this. So it's her own choice. And her understanding of Nigeria, even at that her age, I believe is beyond the normal girls. So when she decided to pick that boy as her husband, I said, Alhamdulillah. So that is how it came.
Your Excellency, let me wish you good luck with your bid for a second term. And thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.